Hello, everybody. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for joining me. Okay. It's time for an imagination story. ASMR. Okay. So, you may have a bit of sleep debt, but that's okay. I'm going to help you pay back your sleep credit card and get more sleep. So, in this video, you're gonna be someone else. Imagine that you are someone else. And it's gonna be an imagination story. So, as you will follow along this story, you'll be able to sleep, okay? So let's begin. Alright. Now let's begin. Let's begin. Let's begin. Okay. So, imagine you are a fast food worker. A fast food worker. Okay. Okay, so that means you work somewhere like McDonald's. Let's say McDonald's, okay? Yum, 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 McDonald's. Don't eat too much of that. McDonald's, 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 okay? You are a fast food worker. And you just got out of home and you decide you have to go to work, okay? You have to go to work. And so you showed up to work as a typical shift, evening shift, okay? You started somewhere between 2 or 3 in the afternoon. And you start serving fries and burgers. But however, you are put in a drink station or something like that. So, okay. Your shift is going well so far. You are serving your Cokes and your coffees, alright? And there is one person. Towards the end of your shift, there's this one customer who asks for a decaf. Hello, can I have a decaf coffee? Medium decaf coffee. Along with a Coke. Okay, a medium Coke. Yep, sure, or something. You replied yes, and he pays, and you give him his change. You give him his change. You give him his change. And then, after that, you decide. You go forth and serve him the Coke, and then the coffee. The thing is that you are closing very soon. And apparently this is a closing shift that you're working in the evening. It's afternoon. It's almost done. Almost 11 p.m. 11 p.m. And you happen to have no decaf, okay? But there is still some dark roast on this beside the decaf, and it's almost full. It's almost full. So like there's pots of decaf and dark roast. It just so happens that you are unlucky that the decaf is empty, but there is still dark roast. So you're kind of debating whether you should pour dark roast instead of decaf. Kind of cutting corners a bit. So what the heck? You decide to pour in the dark roast instead of the decaf. He would not notice it, and it's out of view. So you pour in the decaf. I mean, not the decaf, the dark roast in place of a decaf. Keep in mind, he ordered a decaf and a Coke. A decaf, a decaf, a decaf. Okay, so you fill it up with a dark roast. And you give him the Coke and the coffee that's supposed to be filled with decaf, filled with dark roast. He says thank you, and he said have a good night, sleep well. Alright, so your shift went pretty well. Okay, and after that, you decide to go finish your work and close and go back home. So you go back home, and as you're walking, you're kind of thinking, oh well, hopefully he does not notice that he's not going to be able to sleep, and he probably will not notice that you fill the coffee with dark roast. Okay. And so he kind of call it a night, you forget about it. But as you got home, okay, you feel something off about your mouth, okay? You feel something off, like this part. Your right side of your mouth feels a little bit swollen, like you feel something pressing. You feel it. You feel as if something is pushing upwards, okay? So you arrive home with feeling very uncomfortable. Okay. And you check the washroom, you go to the washroom, and you notice that your wisdom tooth is kind of bothering you. It's actually your bottom left or right, your bottom right wisdom tooth, okay? From your perspective, if you look at someone, it's this, okay? It looks like their left part of their head, but from your perspective, it's your part of your mouth, that's right, your right part. So it's here, your bottom right, and it's really hurting. And you try to feel it, and it feels like this wisdom tooth is bigger than usual, like as if your wisdom tooth suddenly grew to twice its size. Like this tooth is it's like an anomaly. It's like twice as big as the other teeth. Comparatively, the other wisdom teeth. And you are kind of freaking out a bit. And once you feel it, you notice that this tooth is loose. It's wiggling, like it's moving, and it's as if you don't have any roots. This tooth does not have any roots. Okay. It is very late at night. It is past midnight. Okay. It is past midnight. Okay. And this tooth just somehow got loose. And all of a sudden, as you feel it, it came out. Just like that. Okay. And it went on the table. And what you saw is a big white lump. Like a big giant tooth. A tooth that is not supposed to be that big. It appeared 3 times as big than what it should be. So it's as if your tooth has grown 3 times out of a sudden, which is supposed to not grow. It's supposed to remain the same size. Okay. And this tooth just so happens to not be bleeding. So now you have a giant wisdom tooth hole. And you happen to eat something like a smoothie. But even then, a smoothie, you have a really rough time chewing the parts, even the pulp. You don't even know what you're eating or drinking. You ate something very soft along with the smoothie. And it is very challenging because now you have this giant hole and food gets stuck in it, okay? So, you are kind of panicking, but at the same time you are feeling relieved because there is no blood coming out of your mouth. But you also feel weird because it feels like not the entire tooth has come out. You kind of feel something in the hole, like something hard, as if the roots are still there. So you try to feel it, and that part is kind of sensitive. It's kind of sensitive, okay? You feel your nerves are kind of acting up, okay? And as you are feeling the hole, you can notice that you notice in your hands some roots that have been stuck there, and you try to get it out, and eventually you got it out. It's like those little tails of what the root should be. So like as if the tooth, when you first take out your wisdom tooth, the whole body of the tooth came out without the roots. It broke apart, and now the roots are kind of stuck in the hole. And eventually you took it out, and now you have this giant hole that somehow is not bleeding, okay? It somehow is not bleeding, okay? Okay. So after that, you put a tissue to clean your mouth, to wipe your mouth, to wipe your mouth, to wipe your mouth. And you go to sleep, and you try to forget. You try to sleep. You try to sleep, and the next day of this imagination, it is a new day. And once again, it is another weekday. And now you have to go work again. You have another shift to work in. It is the same shift, 3 to 11, 3 till close, 3 till 11, 3 till 11, 3 till 11, okay? 3 p.m. to 11 p.m. And you go to work with your mouth feeling super weird. You have this hole, your wisdom tooth hole, at the bottom right side of your mouth. And you kind of have a bit of trouble speaking. You are slurring, you're slurring. So, you arrive to work, and you start work again. This time, you are put on the sandwiches station. I don't even know if McDonald's even sells sandwiches or grilled cheese sandwiches, because I know that McDonald's is famous for burgers. But for some reason, in this imagination scenario, McDonald's is selling actual sandwiches with bread. So yeah, just assume McDonald's is selling sandwiches, because in your dream, you have to make one. Okay. So, you are doing work. Everything's going fine. Until there's one moment where you have to make a grilled cheese sandwich. And in this case, you have to make sure that both sides of the sandwich, the bread, is equally grilled. So you try to do it. Alright? You don't even remember what to put. All you remember is put cheese and grill it. So you put it in the grill. And as it's going into the grill, you notice that the bread becomes burnt very quickly. And as the sandwich comes down, you see that one side is completely dark, which means that the sandwich is totally burned. So it is totally burned. And the manager comes in and asks, "What the hell are you doing?" And I said, I am trying to make a grilled cheese sandwich, but I made a mistake. And the manager does not like it. She says, oh my gosh, the next time you make a mistake, I'm counting and you'll be punished. Oh my gosh, that is a strict manager. Okay, you are really stressed out and you decide to take 2 more loaves of bread and actually put on the grill. So when you put it in the grill, this time you push it inwards. This grill is horizontal and you push it with some sort of spatula and it's going in. It comes out and luckily it works. Okay, it is not as bad. And you put in the cheese. Okay, and you put all the other ingredients you forget. And you serve to the customer. The customer was not impressed, but he says thank you. Okay. And you move on to the next person. Okay, and everything goes normal. Okay. You still have this uneasy feeling about this part of your mouth. That is, without the wisdom tooth, and you feel very uncomfortable. And now you're being watched by your manager at McDonald's. Okay. So the manager is really observing you, and you try to do your best. You do your orders. You take in the order. You are serving sandwiches left and right, and they happen to be good. You got 2 Big Macs served. You got a few Quarter Pounders served. You got 1 Big M served. And a few other burgers. But eventually, there's this one guy. You totally recognize him. He comes home, not home, he comes to the counter, rushes towards you, and asks you something. Hello, you remember me? I lied to him. You lied to him? Okay. He said, I don't, or something like that. And he tells you, why did you serve me caffeinated coffee instead of decaf? I came here last night and I asked for decaf and a Coke. Why did you give me caffeinated coffee? Oh my gosh. In this case, you tried to defend yourself by lying and saying, I gave you decaf. What's wrong? Or something like that. I didn't give you caffeinated coffee. I did not give you caffeinated coffee. But he says, yeah, sure. Look. You said something like, I did not give any caffeinated coffee. And he says, look. I show you. So he shows you. He whips out his phone. He shows you a screen of the camera, okay? And he shows you some sort of CCTV footage of you from yesterday at 10-something p.m. He shows you a footage of you thinking and pouring dark roast caffeinated coffee instead of decaf. Like, he shows you you are taking the decaf, you shaking like that and realizing that it's empty, and that you kinda hesitated at first and you pour in the caffeinated dark roast coffee. And he says, that's my proof. Okay, you are screwed at this point. And the manager comes, and the customer who has been complaining tells the manager, look, this guy gave me dark roast instead of decaf. And then he showed the manager that footage that he has on TV, on the camera. And the manager says, oh boy, you are fired. Go grab your stuff. You're done. Okay. And that is not very good. You are in big trouble, and that has costed your job as a fast food worker at McDonald's. Okay. That is rough. Okay, very rough. And you don't know how this customer has been able to access the camera footage from behind. Okay, maybe he is an undercover opera manager. Who knows? And you are feeling super bad right now. And you go to sleep as you get home, feeling devastated. So, a few days later, you have no job, and you are now trying to apply, let's say, Starbucks, which is another restaurant, a coffee machine, a coffee house, and you go to one specific Starbucks that is nearby, a few blocks down. You don't know how many blocks, but it is a few damn blocks down from the McDonald's that you got fired from. And you go ask the employees there, are you hiring? And the employee says, maybe, but I think I remember that you tried to apply here. And I said, maybe, but I would like to apply again, or something like that. You say that. And then the worker that you are takes your CV and says, maybe January 16. That is when you should apply, and it is right before the deadline. And everything else, it happens to be forgotten, and this story happens to end. Okay. So, this imagination story is based off a dream that I had a few days ago. I hope you did enjoy this video. Hopefully this will help you sleep. And if you had any sleep debts, I hope you get to pay all of it. And I hope you get to pay your sleep credit card. So, I'll see you guys again in the next video. And